What is up, Don't Lines fans? It's your boy, Motor City Don P here. Back once again. Yesterday, I was just hyped for no reason. I didn't have a reason to be hyped, but today I've got a reason to be hyped. We going home, we Motor City kitties back up in the city. It's your boy and the Motor City Cats. We are back at it. Came to give you stats, not none of that static. Whatever you do, keep your Lions news pragmatic. You already know what it is. If you have not heard the news, we're going to start off the top with the news. It is the breaking news, right? We don't get to break much news around here, but we are going to break it. Well, it's broken. About 10 minutes ago, it got broken. Kirby Mofo Joseph. That's right. Super Bowl Curb. You see what I'm saying? Signed his 4-year extension worth $86 million, which makes him the highest paid safety in the NFL. And I know a guy who said Kirby Joseph wasn't even gonna be a starter. I know a guy that said Kirby Joseph was the odd man out when it came to who's going to play Brian Branch, Ifeatu Melifonwu, or Kirby Joseph. I know a guy who's very, very, very ill-informed, who thinks he's right about everything, who makes dumbass takes just to be relevant, who said Kirby Joseph wasn't going to be the starter. Well, guess what? Kirby Joseph went on to be the league leader in interceptions last season. He went on to be the league leader in interceptions last season. And he had 9. And the Detroit Lions said, "You're good enough for Detroit, Kirby Joseph." He's getting paid $21.5 million per year. Right? We don't have the guarantees quite yet. Okay? Tactical Sport knows what guys I'm talking about. All right? We don't have the guaranteed money quite yet. Let me see here. I've got the article in front of me. So the Detroit Lions are making Kirby Joseph the highest paid safety in NFL history with a 4-year, $86 million extension, sources told NFL Network's Ian Rappaport. And this one is written by Daniel Valentine. Joseph, who will earn $21.5 million annually, surpasses Tampa Bay Buccaneers safety Antoine Winfield Jr.'s mark of $21.025 million per year to earn the claim of the highest paid safety. More to come. All right. So smash that like button. Make sure you share the stream. Make sure you tell everybody what's going on around here. Make sure you tell everybody that the Motor City Cats are back at it. Came to give you stats, not none of that static. Whatever you do, make sure you keep your Lions news pragmatic. Kirby Joseph. Now, as I said, I know people who say things about players on the Detroit Lions. All right. We are in a situation, despite what we've said around the draft, despite what we've said about the pass rush, and despite what we've said about what Brad Holmes needs to do. The reality of the situation, and I got one more thing that I want to do here. You got to give me a second. But the reality of the situation is that Brad Holmes has put the Detroit Lions in a situation which is enviable around the league. And he's put us in this situation by drafting players at an elite level. He drafts elite players at an elite level. Okay? Brad Holmes has drafted 6 Pro Bowlers and 4 drafts. All right. Now he's drafting all pros, not just Pro Bowlers. They're all pros as well. So we're in a situation which a lot of teams would like to be in, a lot of franchises would like to be in. And the only reason that we have such strong feelings is because we want to see them punch in a Super Bowl. We want to see him punch in the Super Bowl. But Kirby Joseph is the type of project that you want to see. You don't want to see Project Martin, okay? And maybe, just maybe, okay? He was what's that Lupe line? I was believing in my own hype, but it was too untrue. True. Whatever. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Shout out Lupe. He the homie. Even though he's from Chicago. But maybe, just maybe, Brad Holmes is like, look what I did with Kirby. I'm going to get Broderick Martin. If y'all don't know, Kirby Joseph only played 1 year at safety in college. He was a converted wide receiver. He goes from a converted wide receiver in college, his first 3 years, to a 1 year safety in college, to going into his fourth year as the highest paid safety in the NFL. I think that is phenomenal. I think Brad Holmes did a phenomenal job with Kirby Joseph. I think Kirby Joseph could go down, based on his circumstances, as one of Brad Holmes' greatest draft picks ever. Based on his circumstances. You drafted Jahmyr Gibbs. Jahmyr Gibbs was a dude. Okay, when he was coming out of high school, he had all types of like, all of the major colleges recruited him. All of the major colleges offered Jahmyr Gibbs. Right? Amon-Ra St. Brown, I don't even know why he fell. Like, he was a dude at USC. We know Penei Sewell. I mean, come on. All right. We know Aiden Hutchinson. I mean, come on. We know Brian Branch. I mean, come on. We know Jameson Williams. I mean, come on. But Kirby Joseph, who saw this coming? Again, there were people making asinine statements about how Kirby Joseph would fit into this roster, into the rotation of safeties. Now, Ifeatu Melifonwu has gone away and he has signed a contract for $4 million a year with the Miami Dolphins because he couldn't stay healthy. Kirby Joseph has that contract, and Brian Branch is upcoming. But you didn't hear it here first. I'm not even going to lie and tell you you heard it here first. All right? I heard it on the Heavies. Shout out Heavies. You know what I'm saying? I watch their show every day before I start my show because it's the one that comes on before my show. And that's one of the reasons that I don't do my show at the same time as them, because they the homies. Why would I do that? All right. So shout out all my homies. It's some people that all my homies hate, and I ain't gonna shout them out. But anyway, Kirby Joseph is the highest paid safety in the NFL. $21.5 million. We do not know what the guarantees are. $86 million is the entire value of the contract. And Kirby Joseph has 4 more years as a Detroit Lion, as one of the generals of that secondary, because you know the second what it was, we got 2 5-star generals back there. And that's Brian Branch, and we'll see what he does next year with his contract. But you heard it here, one of the first. Not the first, but let me get to y'all in the chat. What up, though? Tactical Sport. What up, though? Braylon Dennis. What up, though? Donkey Kong. What up, though? Mary Smith. What up, though? Motown Mitch. What up, though? Big Wool Status. Right. So y'all thought I wasn't going to. Yeah, y'all came in. Y'all was excited. Y'all didn't think I was going to start off the show with that because you got a cornerback from Michigan on the whatchamacallit, on the thumbnail. And we're going to get to that. But I do have to get to this one thing that I wanted to get to, and I didn't get a chance to get to it before the show because I was trying to get some other stuff taken care of and get some other stuff ready. But I'll get to it when I get to it. We're going to let it come naturally. Okay, so let's get into what we came here to get into. Mondo McMichael. I don't know who that is. Mongo McMichael. Who is Mongo McMichael? Maybe I'm showing my age. Yes, Zach J, 86 million. Big Wolf status, you are back. Welcome. Okay, you are always welcome. We may disagree, but we all love the Lions, and that is where the passion comes from. So, hey, as long as you're respectful, you're always welcome back, my guy. No problems with you. Glad you came back, and as I said, you're always welcome. Football player and a wrestler. Oh, was his name Mongo in the ring? Shout out Andre the Giant. All right. So the thing that we are gathered here today to talk about, could Brad Holmes do the unthinkable in the draft? There are some rumblings about some things. And these things are, Kirby deals was a steal. Yeah, I think that's gonna be tough, bro. If Brian Branch, just because he's the next up, is getting paid, like if no other safeties get done, I think Brian Branch just does 21.75 million or 21.55. Right? It's like, okay, well, you're just getting paid that extra 5. You know what I mean? The extra 0.5. Yeah, I'm not. If it wasn't the Hulkster or Macho Man Randy Savage, or the big name guys, I didn't really know him too well. I loved the Junkyard Dog when I was a kid though, because I had the little action figures, the ones that are made out of rubber. You know the ones I'm talking about. I don't think they're gonna have to trade Branch. We'll see what they do with their money there, and we'll see how this contract shakes out. Because the only thing, and I've said this before, the salary cap is not real. The only thing that makes anything real is the richness or lack thereof of the owner. And the reason that I say this is because, when you guarantee money, you have to put it in escrow. Okay? Which means you put it into an account and you can't touch it because it is guaranteed. So it doesn't matter what the player is getting paid per year. Right? Let's say that Kirby Joseph has 100 million guaranteed. Well, you gotta, as soon as he signs, sorry, not 100 million, because he got 86. So let's say 60 million of his contract is guaranteed. As soon as he signed on that dotted line, that 60 million had to go into escrow. Okay, so that 60 million is Sheila Ford Hamp can't touch. Okay, and whatever the owner is willing to do, however much money they have, and however they can move money around, and maybe you put money in other places and you find other ways to get the money, right? That's it. If Sheila can find a way to get the money to put into escrow, maybe she takes out a loan. I don't know. Okay? You can get everybody under contract because of the way that you can structure contracts, and you can say, okay, well, this is and I keep going back to the Matthew Stafford contract. When Matthew Stafford was traded to the Los Angeles Rams, he had a tremendous cap hit. And they got it all down to $1 million because they took his whole salary for the year and some more, and they gave it to him as a $60 million signing bonus. So his first year as a Los Angeles Ram, he counted $1 million against the cap. Okay? So it's just about moving money around and finding ways to get extra money and all these things from the owner's perspective. It is not a cap that is real. It is not a cap that indicates how much money the team has. It is about the owner. Armenian Man 2.0, what up though, man? Ain't seen you around in a while. We miss you. Hey, he says people can get restructured. Exactly. right? That's what happens. You move money around, you convert money into just so anybody that thinks the salary cap is a real thing, just the fact that you can reclassify and move money to other places to make it easier to use should show you that salary cap is full of loopholes and it is not a real thing. Anything that is supposed to be hard, right? Pause. We'll, for lack of a better term, hard coded. And if you're not into coding or anything of that nature, what hard coded means is, for example, you'll take something and you will make it that in the code. You like in the code, it will say Detroit Lions, right? But usually what happens in code is it'll say NFL team and it'll have an algorithm which it'll pull the team into that slot. But now when you hard code it, it's always going to be Detroit Lions in that slot. So if something was hard coded, it was meant to stick that way. The salary cap is not hard coded at all. It is not meant to stick the way that it is. It is full of loopholes. It is full of the ability to move things and change things and carry the one and divide and multiply this over here and do a Pythagorean theorem, and now you get money vanishing and you're doing magic, and Merlin is over there in the contract room casting spells on the contracts. Come on, bro. It is not a real thing. It is about the owner's money. And Sheila Ford Hamp and the Detroit Lions are not at the top in cash richness. This is the only issue that we're going to have with our contracts. Armenian man says, Goff, I think will. Zach J says, can I get a mill? Me too. Right? Me too. Can I get a bill? Tactical Sport says the bad part about doing that is the bill will come due. You can put the money in an escrow as a signing bonus, but that's where you get dead cap money on the end. You do if you have, I think when you have the smart capologists like we do, they've been very, very good at avoiding dead cap. When we had the Quintricia error, as I like to call it, Fatty Matty Patty, they were not good at managing salary caps. This is how we got, what was his name? First of all, we got Jamie Collins, and then we got why am I drawing a blank on this man's name? Trey. What was his name? Like, I should not forget this man's name. Trey Flowers. There we go. Zach J says every NFL team has an offshore account. Don't think that Zach J is joking here. You know what I'm saying? We talking about multi-billionaires. They got Swiss bank accounts now. Don't believe the hype. Donkey Kong says, I love the fans that think we're keeping everyone. We'll see how many people they can keep. But the question are they going to have to trade Brian Branch? Don't know. Trade 90 mil Flowers. That's right. David Lyons, what up, though? Everybody that's here right now, I want to see y'all and more. Bring a friend. Everybody bring a friend. Bring your cousin. Bring your uncle. Bring your auntie. Bring everybody in because we're going to be doing the draft. Day one, we're going to be here. Day two, we may be with Derek. We'll have to see what it is. So make sure that you are locked in here on day one. I got to go get my hair cut, but I'll probably be on right before the draft starts. I might be able to get in 15, 20 minutes early. We'll see. I'm trying to negotiate with my barber right now. Make sure he gets me done. Pause. He lives about 20 minutes away from me. So make sure that he gets done in time for me to be able to get home a little bit early so that we can get cracking and we can get everything set up. Everything will be set up before I leave, but you know what it is. David Lyons says, I'll be at the draft. You got a phone, David? You know what I'm saying? You got a phone. David, if you want to join us from the draft, I can send you a link and set it up. I know Derek is going to be doing something similar, but I don't have nobody. So, David, if you want to volunteer your services and you want to, be in the draft and, get your thoughts from inside, and we talk to you about picks and everything. You want to be our boots on the ground guy, let me know. Send me a message in the Discord and we'll get you a link set up, and I'll set it up in StreamYard. I'll probably set it up in StreamYard anyway so that I can have guests on. Hey, maybe we can do that. Yeah, let's do that. Anybody that wants to be part of the draft coverage, anybody that wants to give opinions about things, let me know. I'll set it up in StreamYard so that I can have guests coming in and out seamlessly. And yeah, let's do that. Let's do that, guys. So if you want to be in the draft coverage, it'll be different from what we were supposed to be doing with this mock draft, which just didn't happen because I couldn't get the app together in time. But if you want to be on the show, let me know. I'll bring you in and we can do it up. We can do something different for the draft that we don't usually do. I hate they put the Pistons game on during the draft. So it's not on during the draft. If it ends the way it's supposed to end, it'll end right as the draft starts. Because the Pistons game's at 7, the draft starts at 8. Donkey Kong says Derek won't let me call in his show. Well, Donkey Kong, if you want to call in, you know what I'm saying? If y'all want to be part of this, we can go ahead and do it. You'll be attending the Pistons game tomorrow. Okay, well, tune in as soon as the Pistons game is done. Tune in right here. David Lyons says that person for Derek is me. I figured it might be. He didn't tell me who it was, but I figured it might be. Donkey Kong, then if you want to call in because you're gonna be down there, let me know, bro. And you can be my guy. David can be both our guys. He'll be like both ours, but we'll keep him at Derek's house. Hashtag if you know, use the hashtag. Zach J says I'm going to bed early just so it can be draft day sooner. Let me get my hands on that app this summer. I'll have to have it up and running for next year. But you know what? I actually did want to do Tactical Sport as well. And I forgot about this because I was hyper focused on getting it ready for the draft. Is we can do some fantasy draft in there too. I'm not a fantasy guy. So yeah, that'll be what that is. But you think we trading up? Let's get to that. Let's get to that. Okay, let's get to that. I got it right here. What is going on with this? Okay, there we go. Hold on. I gotta put something up. Let's see here. Do. All right, let me open that up. I just got to put something up for y'all. It's something you got to see. All right. Are y'all ready? So before I get to that, I just got to do it. All right, let me do this. Let me do this. All right. Let me know if y'all are ready. All right, we ready. All right, we ready. Okay. Okay. We're gonna count it down. We're gonna count it down. If y'all didn't know, 3, 2, 1. Happy New Year. Yeah, I'm talking about, hey, hey, yeah, I'm talking about, hey, J-Mo with the Gucci hat on. J-Mo with the Gucci hat on at the team workouts, Gucci. All that, everybody that thought, oh, he's mad at the Lions. He don't want to be here no more. Nyang, 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 nyang. That's J-Mo, baby. He is right there. He is ready. We're going to keep that up there for a bit. Oh, wait. Actually, I just... we can't keep it up there if I minimize it. Okay, there we go. All right. We'll keep that up there. All right. Okay. So we're going to put that... We're just going to keep that right there. And, you know... We're going to leave it. All right. So here's the thing that I wanted to get to. This is the rumblings that have been going on. Oh, if you guys didn't know, the Detroit Lions and the Los Angeles Chargers will be opening the NFL season in the preseason at the Hall of Fame game. So if you did not know this, the Detroit Lions will be in the first preseason game of the season. I believe that's what, August 25th or something like that. I don't remember the exact date of the Hall of Fame game, or August 15th. I think it's August and a day with a 5 in it. So yes, they will be there. All right. So now this is an article from Mike Payton. And I know Mike Payton has started a lot of mess, but we're going to cite Mike Payton today because this is what we got to get into. It is going to lead into a lot of draft talk. We might even do a mock draft here before we leave, before we get off today. So it says a day before the 2025 NFL draft, multiple insiders have switched to the Lions taking a position that could cause a nightmare scenario in the first round. Now, the 2025 NFL draft is tomorrow, and Detroit Lions fans are dying to get this thing over with. We know that they want Lions GM Brad Holmes to, what they want him to do, go get that edge rusher opposite Aiden Hutchinson. And if you can't do that, get one of the best interior offensive linemen you can get. I just want you to get somebody on the defensive line. If it ain't an edge rusher, make it a defensive tackle, because Boy Lopez, you know, he did his thing, but yeah, no, I just, no. Okay. No. All right. I'm not saying he's a bad player. I don't, you know, hey, I don't know much about him. He was a rotational guy. He's been a rotational guy all his career in the NFL. And I just feel like if you can get one with star power, you know, as a rookie, go ahead and get you one. If you can get you a Derek Harmon or somebody like that, go ahead and do it. But if not, you know, whatever. But I do want an edge rusher, and I've made that very, very clear. All right. So either one of those has been the expectation from most draft experts or NFL insiders all offseason long. There's been the occasional receiver talk, but it's mostly been just that until recently, when another position has entered the fray, one that the Lions really don't need to focus on right now, but fits the best player available identity. That's a cornerback. All right, before you freak out, hear me out. Before you freak out, hear me out. We are going to talk about why this is either a good move or a bad move. David Lyon says J-Mo is a lion. I always wonder why J-Mo always wears long sleeves. Is it because he is used to playing in the Alabama Heat? I don't know. You can't trust a guy with two first names like Mike Payton. Is Payton really a first name? You got Peyton Manning, but you'd also have Walter Payton. And Walter Payton was the first one that we heard of. So I think by default, Payton has to be a last name. But Payton was spelled P-A-Y-T-O-N, and Peyton Manning is P-E-Y-T-O-N, and Mike Payton is P-A-Y-T-O-N. So he's got the last name spelling. I don't know. It's up for debate. Armenian man said we freaking out. All right. Just let me Tactical Sports says I've been going back and forth with who I want the Lions to pick in the first, but I think I settled on Kenneth Grant. But we will have to move way up in the draft for him. I don't know. They're talking about he's fallen. But you never know. You never know what happens. But it says one day before the draft, NFL insider Peter Schrager put out a mock draft solely based on things that he's hearing. Now, if you know anything about Peter Schrager only does one mock draft a year. He puts it out very close to the draft, and everyone has a feeding frenzy and all these things. But he's very, very accurate with his mock drafts. So it's about things that he's hearing, and it makes sense to do this one day before the draft. Now, the way that it'll backfire is because I think things ramp up one day before the draft, right? Because that's when everybody's throwing out the smoke screens. Everybody's trying to hide their cards and play them close to the vest. So you don't really get the most honest answers from NFL GMs and around NFL circles one day before the draft, because everyone is zero dark 30 mode. They are going into damage control, DEFCON 17, trying to make sure that nobody knows what their plans are. Because if someone knows what their plans are, they can really throw a monkey wrench into their plans. Fun fact, do y'all know that Australians call wrenches spanners, right? And they really say that throws a spanner into the works. Like, instead of we say a monkey wrench, they said that throws a spanner. And I'm like, what the frick is a spanner? Anyway, so, and he has the Lions taking Michigan cornerback Will Johnson. He's not the only one. In Dane Brugler's last mock draft, he has the Lions taking Kentucky's Maxwell Harrison at 28. What the hell is going on here? So the Lions have spent time with Harrison. They had the Detroit native in for a top 30 visit. We can't say the same for Johnson. And that might be because up until recently, he was expected to be long gone by the time the Lions picked. He's our 9th ranked player on our A to Z Sports board and has an average draft position of 10.87, which means he's going to be drafted somewhere between the 10th and the 11th pick. And I don't know how you get between it. You can't. But he's either going to go 10 or 11 based on their their calculations. So it's really hard to see the Lions taking a cornerback this high in the draft. I think we can all agree that an extra guy as depth is not a bad idea, but a first rounder makes no sense. The Lions just invested a lot of money in DJ Reed in free agency, and they took Terrion Arnold and Enz Rakestraw in the first and second rounds of last year's draft. Then they have Amik Robertson, who played really well last year, and you can move Brian Branch in if you have to. While Rakestraw didn't have the best rookie year due to injuries, the team has shown zero signs of giving up on him. They've actually done the opposite. Holmes talked about how excited he was to see what Rakestraw could do just last week. Is it Robertson? He has 1 year left on his deal, so maybe the Lions are worried they could be looking at another Carlton Davis situation where Robertson will be looking to get a big payday and seemingly never gives the Lions a chance. That one seems doubtful too. You see how he threw shots at Carlton Davis? He said seemingly never gave the Lions a chance, right? And maybe that's true. Maybe this is just a couple of insiders overthinking things or still locked in on the idea that the Lions secondary is their weakness, despite the fact that it totally isn't. And the Lions allowed the second fewest passing touchdowns in the league last year. If they do take a cornerback, that just feels like a nightmare scenario for Lions fans who were really hoping this team would go get that edge or offensive lineman we're going to see tomorrow, if there's anything to it. Now, what was the pausing part? I was talking fast. So Tactical Sports says, I would love to have Will Johnson, but I don't think we need a CB, but I know Brad goes BPA. Okay, so hear me out. When I originally saw this article, I laughed. And I was thinking it was another, what's that guy's name? I don't remember his name. The one that did the worst mock draft ever. The one that took, let's see here. Gray Zabel in the first, Tate Ratledge in the second, what's the dude's name? Some safety out of Virginia or somewhere, Jonas something, in the third, and then traded out of the fourth round into the fifth round to get Jared Ivey. That guy. I was thinking it was going to be one of those performances. But then as I stepped away from my computer, I thought about it. What the Steve McMichael just died. Green Bay has dead women in the river all of a sudden. What the F is going on? I have no idea. So I thought, as I stepped away from my computer, would this be the worst pick in the world if you went and you got Will Johnson? No. Because if you got a Will Johnson, you'd have another one of those bloodbath situations like last year when you had all the competition in the cornerback room. But you also, in the second round, could get a Josiah Stewart, or you could get a what's that dude's name? It's not Landon. Is it Landon Jackson or Landon? I think it's Landon Jackson, right? You could get a Landon Jackson. You could get a guy in the second round. You also could trade up to get a guy in the second round. Now, here's the thing. When I was thinking about that, I wasn't thinking about Will Johnson falling to number 28, which is kind of crazy. If you're thinking about Will Johnson falling to number 28, just like they have Shedeur Sanders falling all the way down to 28, I don't think either one of those things happens, okay? Now, the reason we're going to do a little exercise. I did this exercise with Derek yesterday. We're talking about Shedeur Sanders because he did a video about Kayvon Thibodeau. Should the Detroit Lions trade for Kayvon Thibodeau? Okay? And you guys will notice I reference Derek a lot because we're cool, right? There's some other people I'm not cool with. I only reference the people that I'm cool with. And if I'm not cool with the person, I'll just say a guy or a dumbass or something like that. You know what I mean? If I'm feeling really spicy, I'll call him a dumbass because he ain't going to do nothing. He's a punk. Anyway. Spicy meatball. So he did a video when he was wondering, because he's hearing things about Kayvon Thibodeau, and obviously Kayvon Thibodeau is one of those people that also hasn't had his fifth-year option picked up, but he could be on the move as apparently the New York Giants are waiting for something. They're waiting to see what happens in the NFL draft. If the Giants get Abdul Carter, number 3 overall, they are looking to move on from Kayvon Thibodeau, apparently. They also would like Shedeur Sanders, but they're not going to pass up on they're not going to pass up on Abdul Carter to draft Shedeur Sanders because they also did just bring in 2 quarterbacks. They brought in Jameis Winston, and they also brought in Russell Wilson. Okay, so to draft Shedeur Sanders at number 3 I don't want to say it would be idiotic because Russ ain't really cooking no more. I think Russ is on the back end of his career, and he's probably going to be out sooner rather than later. We know with Jameis Winston is feast or famine. He will give you 30 touchdowns. He also will give you 30 interceptions. And he wants the Lord to deliver him from them pick sixes. He will throw you some pick sixes. So would you guys be opposed to Kayvon Thibodeau for a 3rd round pick? Now, what this entails, the exercise that we did yesterday, and I'm going to do it with you guys today. Okay? I'm going to do it with you guys right now. So you guys let me know in the chat. We're going to look at the NFL draft order. And this is gonna be a fast. Just looking at the first round. Okay, we're gonna base this on team needs. All right. So we know round one, pick one is going to be the Tennessee Titans. We know that they're probably. I think Cam Ward is locked in as the number one pick. Okay, so we know Shedeur Sanders is not going number one overall unless we are all shocked to find out that he does go number one overall. Okay. So Tactical Sports says it wouldn't be the worst pick in the world, i.e. Broderick Martin, but it doesn't solve the whole pass rush issue. Lazy Link, what up, Chef? Happy Draft Eve. What up, though, Lazy Link? Happy Draft Eve to you, too. All right, so if the Cleveland Browns are going to select Travis Hunter or Abdul Carter. Now, if the Cleveland Browns select Travis Hunter, or if they select Abdul Carter, I think that the New York Giants would just do themselves a favor by selecting Travis Hunter. Okay? Now that leaves the New England Patriots, who do not need a quarterback. The Jacksonville Jaguars, who do not need a quarterback. They do. Okay? They don't think they do, but they do. I'm not a Trevor Noah fan because I always do that, and it's not even on purpose, but his name is Trevor Lawrence. Okay? But Trevor Noah is a better comedian than Trevor Lawrence is a quarterback. Las Vegas Raiders don't really need a quarterback. You could get one for the future. They did just ink Geno Smith to a 2-year extension. So Zach J says Cam Ward, Travis Hunter, Abdul Carter, Will Campbell is your order for your top 4. So Las Vegas, you got your guy in Geno Smith. You're probably going to go and get Ashton Genty. That's what I've been hearing. The New York Jets. Now, the New York Jets is very intriguing to me as a place where Shedeur Sanders can go. Aaron Glenn knows Justin Fields from his time. Justin Fields is exciting to think about because of the potential of Justin Fields. We know he runs like a running back, right? Because a lot of people hate Lamar and they call him a running back and all these things. If you're looking for a quarterback to call a running back, it's Justin Fields. It's not Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson was one of the best passing quarterbacks in the league last season. He was actually leading the league very late in the year in passing. Okay? So it's not Lamar Jackson. It's Justin Fields. Justin Fields is exciting as a prospect, and he's exciting to think about because, man, if he could just get a little touch on the ball, if he could just get his timing down. But if he could just is not enough. If was a fifth, we'd all be drunk. Right? And if Justin Fields would ever reach his potential, the New York Jets could win a Super Bowl. Is it going to happen? It's probably not. So the New York Jets picking Shedeur Sanders, I think, is an option. Okay? So let's just say that's option number 1. That's the first realistic option if he doesn't go number 1 overall to the Tennessee Titans. Okay? Let me know what y'all think about the New York Jets drafting Shedeur Sanders. Let me know in the chat. I'm just worried we drafting no hell no state players. I mean, there's enough of them in the draft that we might get one. Then we got the Carolina Panthers. We know they got Bryce Young, and Bryce Young has shown improvement, so they're going to rock with him. The New Orleans Saints is another place where I believe Shedeur Sanders could get drafted. Why not? Derek Carr ain't taking a pay cut. Derek Carr is probably not going to play this entire season because of the shoulder injury that he has. So then what is he going to give you coming back from that shoulder injury? You don't know. You don't know what he's going to look like. So you draft his successor because Spencer Rattler is trash and Jeff Hainer is trash. Okay? So Shedeur Sanders could go to the New Orleans Saints. All right. Chicago Bears obviously are not drafting Shedeur Sanders. Guess what? Guess who's next? The San Francisco 49ers have not paid Brock Purdy. I don't think you should be surprised to see Shedeur Sanders go to the San Francisco 49ers. I'm just saying, right? Don't be surprised. I guess it would be a shocking move because everybody thinks that they're in love with Brock Purdy. Is Shedeur Sanders a better quarterback than Brock Purdy? I think so. No salty pork chops. We will not say it. That's not how you pronounce it. You pronounce it. Oh, hell no. Kay ain't pressed in here with questions that nobody's seen, but she wants people to answer. Exactly. Our media man says, where's your question? All right. So I've got right now the New York Jets, the New Orleans Saints, and the San Francisco 49ers. So what do you guys think about that for Shedeur Sanders? And if you're wondering why, if you're just getting here, you're wondering why I'm talking about Shedeur Sanders, it was because it has something to do with the Lions. It's about the Giants trading up with the Lions to draft Shedeur Sanders. I don't think he's going to get there. And this is why I'm going through all of the teams that I believe that he can be drafted to before it gets to pick 28. Okay? And there are a few more that are going to be here in this exercise. So the Dallas Cowboys, you know Jera. Okay, you know Jera. The Dallas Cowboys aren't 100% thrilled with Dak Prescott. So that could be a wild card. I'm not saying that I expect Shedeur to be drafted there, but you know Jera loves Dion. So you draft Dion's son to hope he brings you back to prominence. It could happen. There are pathways to see it. Okay? Can't impress you. We know you love me. All right. So Dallas Cowboys, I'm throwing that in the hat as a wild card. Okay. Miami Dolphins. Would anybody be surprised to see Miami Dolphins draft a quarterback? Tua is one hit from being out of the NFL. Now, every player is one hit from being out of the NFL, but Tua is really one hit from being out of the NFL. He's really one hit away. Come on now. You know what I'm saying? Come on now. Let's stop playing. All right. So would anybody be surprised to see the Miami Dolphins draft a quarterback? Okay, we haven't even gotten past pick 13, and we got 6 teams that could take Shedeur Sanders. Okay? They do need O-line. They also need a quarterback who is not scrambled eggs for brains like Tua is. They may not be that impressed with Dak, but they paid him, and he's going to be there for a while. I agree with you. I'm just saying stranger things have happened. I threw him in there as a wild card. All right. Indianapolis Colts. Again, another team that could realize their mistake. If the Tennessee Titans have realized their mistake and they're moving on from Will Levis, which everyone expects them to do, why can't we say the same thing about Indianapolis? I mean, there was this big thing last year about Anthony Richardson and tapping out and getting benched and all this other stuff, and he's not great at quarterbacking. We played them. He's not great. Shedeur Sanders to the Indianapolis Colts makes sense. If the Tennessee Titans are doing it with Will Levis, I don't see why. And I understand. I understand Anthony Richardson. What did they pick him, number 4 or something? It was a crazy pick that they made, but you can move on from a guy when you know he's just not going to be that guy. I'm glad that the Cowboys paid Dak. We're gonna get to the Seahawks. We're gonna get to the Seahawks. I think they're pick number 18. All right. So Indianapolis Colts could pick them. Atlanta Falcons, not happening. Arizona Cardinals, probably not happening, but I did hear some rumblings a year ago about them wanting to move on from Kyler Murray. So again, it would be a shock, but where is Kyler Murray going? Right? Who's trading for Kyler Murray if you get rid of Kyler Murray? That's my question. If you're trading Kyler Murray for another quarterback, yeah, you're probably going to get some picks for him. 100%. Cincinnati Bengals, absolutely not going to happen ever. And Seattle Seahawks. Now, the Seattle Seahawks is intriguing because how many years is Darnold in Seattle for? Is it 2 or 3? So if you again, it's like a JJ situation. You insert Seattle. Now, remember what Seattle did. They have the same GM, just not the same head coach. They have the same GM. Remember what Seattle did when they signed Matt Flynn, who was who got that contract from making the Lions look silly when the Lions are garbage, right? And they signed Matt Flynn, and then they went ahead in the 3rd round and they drafted Russell Wilson, and Russell Wilson went in there and he won the job. Okay? So Seattle is intriguing, right? Seattle could be a team that drafts Shedeur Sanders. Okay? We know Tampa Bay is not. We know the Denver Broncos are not. The Pittsburgh Steelers need a quarterback. Aaron Rodgers isn't their quarterback. Aaron Rodgers doesn't want to play football. He's talking about all the things that are going on, and he's got some people in his inner circle that are dealing with some pretty heavy stuff and all this other stuff. That's great. Aaron Rodgers, just retire and go away. Okay? Aaron Rodgers, like LeBum, we need you to retire and go away, never to be heard from again. We don't want to hear you. We don't want to see you. We don't even want to remember that you exist. Okay? Now, the Los Angeles Chargers don't think they need a quarterback. Green Bay Packers don't think they need a quarterback. Minnesota Vikings, you got JJ. They're going to roll with JJ. Houston Texans, obviously, they've got CJ Stroud. The Los Angeles Rams is also intriguing to me because how many times are they going to play this contract dance with Matthew Stafford? Obviously, the Baltimore Ravens are not drafting Shedeur Sanders or any other quarterback, and then the Detroit Lions. I think it's highly unlikely that Shedeur could get to the Detroit Lions. Okay? It's highly unlikely that Shedeur could get to the Detroit Lions, but if Shedeur does get to the Detroit Lions, then that takes the 3rd round pick off of the table. Because then the Giants would want to trade up with the Detroit Lions, and the Detroit Lions could just be like, okay, you can trade up with us, get pick swap, and give us Kayvon. Right? So the Detroit Lions trade back into the 2nd round, where they would be the 3rd pick of the 2nd round, and then they also get Kayvon Thibodeau as their 1st round pick. Now, Kayvon Thibodeau as a 1st round pick is intriguing for the short term because he is going to be there for 2 years, and then you got to figure out if you want to pick up his 5th year option this year. But if you trade him during the draft, you will have no time to evaluate him. The only time that you will have to evaluate him is actually, if you trade for him, you're going to pick up his 5th year option. If you trade for him at the draft, you're picking up his 5th year option because at that point, it would be a waste. You traded your 1st round pick, not even for 2 years, just for a 1-year rental. You did trade back, and you probably got multiple picks, especially because of the amount of time that the player would be on your team. If you go, give us Kayvon, we'll pick up his 5th year option. We'll have him for 2 years. We're not going to extend him. So we need your 2nd round pick. We need your 3rd round pick as well. And then you can get back into the 1st round so that you can draft your quarterback who's fallen all the way down the board to number 28. So what do y'all think of that scenario? Kayvon Thibodeau, what is the likelihood of Kayvon Thibodeau getting to the Detroit Lions? Do you think And I don't mean Kayvon. I mean Shador Sanders getting to the Detroit Lions. Do you think that is all likely? What is your percentage that you think of? Um, the scariest team in the NFC North is the Detroit Lions. If Rodgers retires, he'll be on the McAfee show every day. Armenian Man says Rams maybe. Zach J says Aaron Glenn wants Murray so he can have 2 quarterback sets with him and Fields. Murray or Milrow? I forgot Steve McMichael was a member of the Horsemen with Ric Flair. Yes, I do remember Steve McMichael. Or Brad makes us mad and takes Sanders. Brad would not take Shador Sanders. That would be crazy. That would be controversial for sure. All of the golf gawkers would be outraged. Lazy Link says, I like your master plan, evil genius. Giants get screwed again. I think there is a 10% chance Shador falls that far, but you never know. I mean, so you're saying there's a chance. 10% is a chance. So, dudes, there's 2 houses burning and Ashwaubenon, probably 1.5 miles from the stadium in Green Bay. A dead woman pulled out of the river. This is wild news unfolding here at Green Bay. Donkey Kong, are you gonna be my boots on the ground guy? Let me know, man. Because I'll need to get you the Discord link so you can join, so I can get you the link to be on the show tomorrow. Are we just saying it's the scariest? No, because we swept the NFC North last year. No one in the NFC North beat us. So that's why I'm saying that. As of right now, no one has made any moves other than Chicago. I mean, Chicago would be one to keep your eye on, but we don't know what Ben Johnson is going to do. Ben Johnson, he's already aged 5 years since he took over the job. So yeah, I don't know that he's going to do a great job. And I hope he doesn't. We can narrow down who Brad is going to pick. Who needs back surgery going into the draft? Who was that? It was a defensive lineman. Who is it? Was it Derek? Wasn't Knight? Derek Knight or Mick Knight? Somebody like that needs he has back injury. He picks people in his top 30 list. I hope Ben is the offensive Matt Patricia. Me too. I hope Ben is what's that dude's name? Patriots. Why am I for McDaniels? Josh McDaniels. Right? I hope that's who Ben is. Josh McDaniels. Who's this brilliant offensive mind, but he fails everywhere he goes as a head coach. So that's the hope for Ben Johnson. So now back to the Will Johnson thing, which we came in here to talk about. Will Johnson, if he falls to number 28, okay? If he falls to number 28, I wouldn't hate the pick. As I said, if we then address our defensive line in the second round, there's some people that you can get. Now, here's what I would hate the pick of Will Johnson. If you're trading up to get Will Johnson. Okay, if you're trading up to get Will Johnson, if you're giving up assets to move up to get a cornerback, I will crash out. I will crash all the way out because it makes absolutely no freaking sense. If he falls to 28, then you're like, okay, I can see the best player available thing and all this other stuff, and then we can address, in the second, we can even move up in the second round to address our needs at the defensive line or defensive end situation. But if you trade up to get them, it's unacceptable. It's unacceptable at all. But the only reason that the only reason this is a conversation is because we know what Will Johnson is projected to be. Will Johnson is projected to be a shutdown corner. Do we have a true shutdown corner on our roster right now? That's your question. Is DJ Reader a true shutdown corner? I don't think anybody would say that going into year number 2 that Terrion Arnold is a true shutdown corner. Could he get there? Yeah, of course he could. But I don't think anybody is saying that he is 100% going to be. Deion Walker is the guy with the back fracture. There's another guy. I think it was Darius Knight or somebody like that. All right, let's do a mock draft, and let me get out of here. I have had a late start to the day the last couple of days. So let's do our final mock draft. This is the final mock draft of the season for the Motor City Cats. Now, let's reflect on the occasion of this. Before this season, I had never done a mock draft. I think I've done 5 this season. And I was working on an app that will allow you to mock draft with friends. What a time to be alive. I think we should give me a round of applause. Throw some claps in the chat. I've come so far. Right? I didn't used to care about mock drafts. I never did one before. Now it bit me. The bug bit me. So shout out to me, man. Shout out to me. All right, we're gonna go with our NFL draft, NFL mock draft network, mock draft database, because that's the one that's gonna be the most, let's see. All right, so mock draft simulator. Okay. The way they do it, it's so simple, right? It's so simple. He just goes in there, populates the codes. I mean, all right. So we've got that. I will share it with y'all in a second. Enter the draft room. Okay. I just got an idea which I should have had a long time ago, but it is what it is. All right. Let me go ahead and share this with you. I got to change the JMO screen. All right. Let's see. All right, we're going to change the JMO screen for the mock draft. Where is it? Okay, there we go. Boom. All right. So as always, let me make myself smaller. Put me down in the corner. Put me in timeout. You go to the corner, young man. You're in timeout. You're in timeout, young man. Let's move this over here. I don't know what that is. This is what I want. No, this one. Okay. Move this over here. All right, make me even smaller. All right, boom, down in the corner. Okay. And all right, so let the fun begin. We shall start the draft. My car just finished charging. Shout out to Kia. All right. You have trade offers. You know, I've never traded out of the first round. Hmm. Hmm. See, the problem is what I'm thinking. This is big brain thinking right here, right? So I'm thinking if I were to take this, but who wants to trade? Because I'm thinking, let me take this. Let me see who's available. I can't see who's available while these trade offers are here. That's silly. No. I'm gonna tell you what I was thinking. Hell to the no. What? What are the Ravens thinking? Bro, do y'all see this? They want to trade me the 6th round pick, 210, a 2026 second rounder, a 2026 third rounder, and a 2026 fifth rounder. So in this year's draft, they want to trade me not even a pick in the second round. Y'all are smoking drugs. Pookie is in the Ravens draft room right now. All right. Yo, this is intriguing. I'm still going to be in the first round with this one. I'm actually going to accept this pick. The Kansas City Chiefs are offering me pick 31, pick 63, pick 95, and I'm about to watch this. Watch what I do. Watch what I do. Oh, watch me do it. Watch me do it. Nah, get out of here. Get out of here, Arizona. The Bengals. Hmm. 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 No, you know, I'm doing something right. I'm doing something. All right. I'm gonna pause this. Who am I trading with right now? Who's on the board? Las Vegas. Okay. All right, Las Vegas. Oh, they picked already? All right. So we're going with New England. I didn't get this done in time. I'll tell you that much. I did not get this done in time because I was trying to do something. All right. I'm going to trade you this pick. And these two picks. Okay. This pick and this pick. So it's too much for me. Okay. I got you. All right. This pick and this pick. Okay. We're going to go up to number 38. Back off. All right. So number 38. Who we drafting? Where we drafting at? Where we drafting at? Oh, Donovan Ezeraku is there. Thank you. You know what I'm saying? And then we're gonna go right down to pick number 60. Let's see. No, we're gonna reject that. We're gonna reject that. Okay. Let's see. We're gonna. Darius Alexander is the one that had the back injury. Darius Alexander is that one. Should we double up on our edge rushers, chat? What y'all think? Chat, help me out. Should we double up on the edge rushers? Should I go ahead and get your boy Landon Jackson? Run the ball. Yo. Zach J says restart. See, I didn't pick Jihad Campbell because I wanted to do something different. Tate Ratledge on the board. Is Tate Ratledge? I don't think JTT from Oh Hell No State is here. Tate Ratledge is on the board. All right, let's go. Let's go offensive line because we got another pick. Back off. Back off. Back off. Back off. All right. Let's see. We know Brad Holmes likes him injured, so we'll go with that. All right. Let's speed it up. Can we speed it up? No, we would have had to do that before. Okay. Pick number 95. Tate Ratledge gave me a B+. Now I had all these A+ picks. You got me a B+. All right. Josiah. Oh, snaps. Oh, snaps. We take it to, bro. We done revamped this defensive line already in this draft and didn't even have a first round pick. We got Donovan Ezeraku, Darius Alexander, and Josiah Stewart. What y'all know about me? What y'all know about me? Y'all might as well call me Chef Holmes. You know what I mean? Call me Chef Holmes. Motor City Don Holmes. You know what I'm talking about? Just rejecting all the offers. All right. Who we getting at 119? What y'all think, chat? What y'all think? At 119, who should I be getting? I feel like I have too many picks. Let's see. Cameron Williams seems to be. Okay, I'm gonna go O-line there. Xavier Restrepo, I don't know anything about him. Quincy Riley, Chris Paul Jr., Dorian Strong. I think we're gonna go Dorian Strong. All right. Jonas Sanker. Jonas Sanker is there. Malachi Moore in that range. He's probably going up. Yep, Malachi Moore just got taken. No, I don't need more picks. All right. Let's see. We got Baron Sorrell, Jackson Slater, Jalen Travis, RJ Mickens. Let's go RJ Mickens. Get our safety. No, I don't want any more picks, bro. Um, Antoine Powell Ryland, Jalen Lane. Does anybody know anything about Jalen Lane? I feel like just trading the rest of these picks. And who's at one? What are 196? So 197. Let's just offload all of these picks. Denver for pick 197. We'll give them the rest of these picks. Oh, it's not enough. Okay. All right. Wait. I don't care if this is lopsided on their side. Bro, I can't get off these picks. All right, fine. So what I wanted to do in this draft is I wanted to trade up to the first pick of the second round. No, because who watches Virginia Tech? Pat Bryant. Is Pat Bryant? Yeah, Pat Bryant's available. Okay, I'll take Pat Bryant. All right. And for the rest of these, Aronde Gatson Jr. For the rest of these, I'm just gonna take who they say. All right, Riley Leonard. Okay. I heard Faldo Diggs is a dog, so let's. Should we go Faldo Diggs or should we go Riley Leonard? Mullings RB, Khalil Mullings. Is he there? Khalil Mullings. Should I get Khalil Mullings? Said trade with Cleveland for 33 and 94. I don't really have time to redo it. I really do need to go. All right. I'm just gonna go with I'm gonna grab a project quarterback. Give me a project pick. A hood rat pick. One that don't play a lot, but could be real sick. You know what I mean? No hell, no state. Tactical Sports says no for Mullings. All right. Kane Madrano. I'm gonna go ahead and get him. I didn't pick up any linebackers. So Jabbar Muhammad is gonna be my last pick. Let's go. Let's go. Just to have a Sanders. Was Shiloh Sanders? I don't even know. So I got A plus, B plus, A plus, B plus, A 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 plus, B plus. I think I had pretty much an A plus draft. I got Donovan Ezuraku. I got Tate Ratledge. I got Darius Alexander. How many picks do I have? Hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 picks. We don't need any UDFAs. I got 11 picks, bro. 11 picks. World record for amount of draft picks. I do believe that is the case. Guys, I appreciate you guys hanging out. Look, anybody that wants to be part of the draft coverage tomorrow, if you want to come on and hang out and talk about some picks, let me know. I will be making that available. If you're not in the Discord, I will put my email in here. Chef Talks Lions at gmail.com. Send me no, it's Chef Talks NFL, not Talks Lions. Chef Talks NFL. Chef Talks NFL at gmail.com. Send me an email. Let me know you want to be like, tell me who you are. Let me know you want to be a part of the draft coverage. We'll talk about some picks. We'll talk about some strategy and everything. We'll have you on the show. So if you want to do it, send it in. Depending on how many emails I get, I will see what type of time slots I can allot for it to happen. But yes, please do that, and we will see you guys tomorrow. Make sure, as I said, bring friends, bring family, bring countrymen, bring uncles, bring aunties, bring everybody that you know, and come through and hang out with your boy Motor City Don P, because the Motor City Cats are back at it. We came to give you stats, not static. Whatever you do, make sure you keep your Lions news pragmatic. And we are out of here. Appreciate you all. Peace.